Here is grade 7, module 6, lesson 3. I can solve multi-step problems that involve rational numbers in different forms and multiple operations. So to solve multi-step problems, break the problem into smaller parts. It may be necessary to rename numbers to put them into the same form. So like maybe change units from hours to minutes, miles to feet. That's what they mean by rename numbers. So here's our first problem. Stella types a report for 1.2 hours at an average rate of 47.5 words per minute. Rich's paper was the same number of words as Stella's. Rich can type 38 words per minute. How long did it take Rich to type his report? So right off the bat, it's helpful to know whether this is going to be, it's going to take him longer or it's going to be faster for him. So let's start by highlighting what we know. So we have Stella types a report at 47.5 words per minute, and it takes her 1.2 hours. And then we have Rich, who types at 38 words per minute, and the same amount of words. And then what we're trying to find is how long it took Rich to type his report. So that's the question we're trying to answer. So we first need to change our units to be all minutes. So here we have hours. That's what we're doing in this first step here. We're doing 60 minutes times our hours. And now this is changed into 72 minutes. And now we can multiply to find the number of words in Stella's report. So here we're doing our minutes times our words per minute, our rate. And we find out that the report is 3,420 words total. Okay, so on her paper, in the computer, 3,420 words. Now we're going to do some dividing for Rich. So we know he can type our 38 words per minute. So we're going to take that total amount of words, our 3,420, and divide that by his rate. So our total divided by the rate that he can type, and that tells us he's done in 90 minutes, which is an hour and a half. So going back to that original question of, is it going to take him longer or will he be faster? Now, when we're talking about words per minute, the more words you can type per minute, the faster you're going to get done. So if we're comparing Stella at 47.5 words per minute and Rich at 38 words per minute, he's typing slower. So this answer of an hour and a half, meaning it'll take him longer, makes sense. Okay, that's an answer that makes sense because it'll take him a little bit longer. Okay, so we have the distance between two train stops is 160 miles. The train will travel 3/4 of a mile per minute. How long will it take the train to reach its destination? So lots going on here. We first need to figure out what the train's speed will be in miles per hour. So let's highlight what we know. We know that there's 160 miles between the two stops, and it's going at a rate of 3/4 of a mile per minute. But we need to know, since we're talking in miles here, we need our rate to be in miles. So, and our rate right here to be in miles. Okay, again, answering the right question. So we have a rate of 3/4 of a mile per 1 minute. And to change that into hours, we need to multiply it by something that's equivalent to 1. For example, 60 minutes is the same as 1 hour. This whole fraction here will equal 1. So by doing this, we're able to cancel out some units to get to miles per hour. Okay, so 3/4 times 60 will give us our new rate of 45 miles per hour. Now that we have a rate in miles per hour, not miles per minute, we're able to figure out our question here. So how many hours will it take the train to reach its destination? So we said that we're going 160 miles between train stops. And now we have our rate of 45 miles per hour. On the side of your paper, pause the video. What is 45 going into 160? And it says to round to the nearest tenth of an hour if necessary. So pause the video. Do that on the side of your paper. When we do this, we end up with 3.555, and it keeps going. So if we are rounding to the 10th, 3.5 repeating, but it says to round to the nearest 10th. That means we need to go to the hundredths place and see if we need to round up or whether we need to stay the same. So because this is 5 or higher, this is going to round up to be 3.6 hours as your answer to this question. Okay, 3.6 hours because this 5 here, because it's 5 or higher, we're going to raise this 5 up 1 to be 3 6/10 hours.